Hello everybody, I am Agnel Angle and we are back with more Great Ace Attorney. You know how it is, I know how it is, we all know how it is. And we're getting started. Immediately. Alright, so we just got inside the What a voice to have to start with. Okay. Right, so we just got inside the gaff and I had to sigh relief when the gazer showed his Is he talking about us? Oh, okay. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it. For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chopped me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. I'm also New York, by the way. So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop and pointed a gun at him. Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you like my impression of my brother? Yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry. I can't read this morning. Well, I'll be. We find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest governor, this time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide. You better not. Very well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Is it? Is it the moment we've been waiting for? We'll see. Hold it! You mentioned that Mr. Windibank shouted those words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claimed that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Oh, well, yeah. Was the victim Mr. Windibank wielding a gun at the time? Was he ever? Blimey Loomy, a great ugly barrel he had pointed straight at me frontispiece. Pardon? Knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull, whatnot. It got tangled in some marionette, what knocked over the picture frame, what knocked over them scales on the floor. I know I've read that before. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshots that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter. Well, big Bravia went flying over that counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. Then the old geezer pinned him. He did, Nash, he did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blooming pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. That's lucky. There's a button under the count. Wait a minute. But if he had had a button to begin with, why wouldn't he have pressed it when Gina was in there? Unless he didn't think he was actually in danger. Objection! That should be an objection. It's not, but it should be. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windibank? Sorry. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windibank? No, never. I was just, looking out for me bruv, wasn't I? He was being frightened, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away and ran off through that door and shot himself in. With the other person who had a gun. There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Winterbank ran away into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with the gun. Yeah, exactly. Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windibank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windibank's hands again? I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it? This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a note of it. Nah, look, the point is, me and me brother here. That's right, Nash, that's right, me and me brother here. God, I love them.
Hold it!
You say you had nothing to do with it? Nothing at all. Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shot himself in the back room, didn't he? I don't know, did he? Locked it was from the inside. We know it was, because we tried to open... What? You guys are idiots. But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong, wouldn't budge an inch. But you didn't notice the, peephole. Oh, good grief. So in the end, the situation so in the end, it doesn't even matter. God. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. There was no peephole or anything of that nature. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. Ah! Shit, he's got a point. It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel? Oh my god, I hate you. I don't know when you're talking to me like that. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Windibank? I wonder what the correct answer is there. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. What? What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you'd encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windibank? No, the question we must answer is Gina Lestrade guilty of shooting Mr. Windibank? But okay. And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. I mean, it's pretty damn obvious. You have my attention. Great. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. You will draw on it. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked. We know those are the facts. So pray, what other possible place could have done it? Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of 2 conundrums. 2, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe? That's me when I'm taking tests. And you can, it's multiple choice, but you have to pick 2 answers. Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Okay, so it's still the same, right? Like, okay, understood, my lord. I forgot to read that because I was so upset. Are you alright, Runa? I'm not entirely sure. But there's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. Right now, they're just using process of elimination to convict her. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship and me. But he said it first. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. Yeah, right here.
Take that!
Take that. The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. Great. And in answer to the second question, why do we have to say where the victim was? Like, we know. We all know where he was found, and we know that he wasn't moved.
Take that!
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windibank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. We know! Oh my god, Ryunosuke, we know! Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which is what I just said. Stealing lines from Agnel Angle, are we? Which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? That's preposterous! Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, pulled me gun on him and he legged it through that door. If Mr. Winterbank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. We don't even need it to be open. Oh! Are you scared of doors, my lord? Okay. It was at precisely that moment, when the victim was fleeing for his life, that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. No! Ah! What does that sound like? Come to think of it, you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Mr. Vampire? Mr. Dracula? Moving on to the findings, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. Diagonal? I don't know if that's anything. It means it was shot by someone shorter, or at least at a shorter height at the moment. Poor man. Shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Ah, of course! He would have been leaning forward as he was... I don't think he had enough room to get that much traction, would he? Like, that's not a lot of room to get to a running stance, which I know that these proportions are off over here at least, but over here, these look about right. So I call BS. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winterbank at all.
Objection!
Nuh-uh, because it ruins my case. I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. What, you think Gina's gonna watch a guy get shot and then go, I better go out there? No! You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous? Okay, was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? It's so obvious. Oh my god, Zieks. But, are you that stupid? What if Gina locked the door? Yes, there's someone else who could. Oh my gosh. You're kidding. Is that so? God. Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court in the scenario who did it. Oh my gosh, you're all idiots. Then Zieks locked the door. Whatever. Oh, she was on the front page the whole time. Okay, that's fine.
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. I mean, really. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
Of course we're gonna object. That's absurd. Why is that absurd? What? Zieks, you're not that dumb. You're not that dumb. You're not. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the seal. Oh my gosh. For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. Oh, she thought she was about to get shot. I am I'm inclined to agree because I'm an idiot. Well, counts. Argue with that. Ah, yes, that's a tricky one that I swear. You're all idiots. Ryunosuke, go home. Go to Japan. You're done. Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom. Remember that, please. But, oh my god, but of course Jenny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? Thank you, Iris. It does? She should have gotten a little objection line here, too. Well, if I was Jenny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, a dude just got shot in front of me. Those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Sorry, I'm making her more mad than she is, because I think she should be. Oh, yeah, obviously. Oh my gosh, how did I miss that? Before the two brothers arrived... Before the two brothers arrived, Mr. Strahd and Mr. Windybank were in the storeroom together. We know! Oh my gosh. Now, I don't know what went on between them at the time, but at some point, Mr. Windybank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom after Gina gave him his gun. And intruders, eh? That's us, bruv! We're on TV! Like, if your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Oh gosh. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Oh, and then he said, you better give me that gun. Why wouldn't you have taken it for whatever? Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windybank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? Ah, I see where you're going with this. Obviously. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windybank. As soon as that thought struck Ms. Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
Oh. But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it. We ain't, you gotta believe for something. Come on, we never shoot no one. You shot Sholmes. That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. This girl's kind of dad roommate figure is still in the hospital because of this. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes, a celebrity, by the way. There's only one logical conclusion here, and it's not fairly godparents. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windybank's murder. No! Gah! Of course. Where does that leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shady as Dent's forehead. That was amazing, Bruno. It definitely wasn't me who did all the work there. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now because of me. I know, first time ever, and probably the last. Don't say that. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll have a verdict of not... That's not what he should sound like. What would he sound like? An admirable effort, my learned friend. What? Does that logic not make sense? What's this now? He's laughing? No, he's doing like an evil chuckle. You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zieks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive. It's logical, it's not persuasive, it's just, yeah, you would. I dare say. I thought he was gonna continue. I was just waiting. Such chicanery. How do you pronounce that? The use of trickery to achieve a political, financial, or legal purpose.
Chicanery.
Chicanery? Is that the, Chicanery Better Call Saul, Season 3, Episode 5? That's great, thank you. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. Great. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery. He's pulling out all of his vocabulary words. His teacher, or no, Santa is like, "Well done, Van Zieks, 100. Oh, I've got my, I didn't mute my Mac. Okay. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly credibly. Okay. The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly credibly cannot and will not stand. Great. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Really? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing? There's a Lord Van Zieks might be an his voice changes every time we see him. Might be an idea to explain this belly conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground. Stop looking at her. The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. Pardon? By George, count bullets! Oh dear. He noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Council! Yes, sir? He pulled out the sir! Tell the court, how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime? 2. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed, I was there. I mean, the defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. Oh my god, we don't need to look at the picture. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar at a completely horizontal angle, if not a falling trajectory. I'm just saying. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Yes, indeed it does! A single bullet from each! The judge is just... he picks whoever the court is most likely to agree with. Now then, my learned friend. Shit. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that if a single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, that means... Windybank not shot by same gun, stop. Only 1 bullet, stop. Thank you. Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Are you kidding me? Really? Owarg! Order! Oh. Ow, my face! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. A dude is just bleeding out back there. Lord Van Zieks, I thought that you swore an oath never to do that again. I did no such thing. But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. She's a homeless little girl who steals to survive and to help others survive. Therefore, she is a murderer. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be considered as a juvenile. Why? She's 17. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with petty pickpursing. Therefore, she must be a murderer. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print which depicts her threatening the victim's ceiling with the murder weapon. Brother. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc! My god, we remember the disc. Actually, some people may not if you watched these. How they were posted. It's been a long time since I posted. Okay, I'll be taking that whatever it is, McGilda, down to the yard, thank you very much. And then she goes, no, that's mine. And then she tries to, yeah. And then she somehow cuts the dude's finger, even though he had gloves on. Yes, that music box disc. McGilded music box disc. The music box disc for McGilded. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windybank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. She's too poor to own a music box, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence. Objection. The disc wasn't there anymore, and she knew that. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed. No crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to... Okay. Lord Van Zieks, Inspector Gregson, what? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that that disc wouldn't be used as evidence. Huh. How peculiar. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting so strangely? That's the first time he's said anything to Van Zieks at all, I think, ever. I am unaware of any such meeting. You were there! You were standing exactly like you are now! Oh yes, that was my nap time. I swear. But those were the instructions right from the top. The big government bigwigs were insistent. I am a government bigwig. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. See, he's kind of based for that. Indeed, bailiff! He's kind of based for that. He's kind of real. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There are no other aspects to a case. There's nothing more to add. Do you rest your case? Say it. Say you rest your case, so that I can go off on you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I bet you'll pull a takesies backsies in like 5 seconds. I don't believe it. I have to do another summonation? Oh my gosh! I had the jury on my side for once, for all of 5 minutes. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Rune. My lord! Ah! Wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been tumbling about in a bit of fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden, it's just barely obvious to me and my men there's only one thing for it. Oh no. Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
Of course.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. I like his bonk. Oh, brother. We got another summonation. We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. I wonder how long it'll last this time. When you have eliminated the impossible. Hold on, I've got to give that a new reading. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. That's my line! I wrote that for early! How dare he use it against us! Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. We'll get him. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winterbank. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summonation of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Your Dev Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you know the drill. Oh. Okay, we're not messing around on the summonation. I'm so sick of summonations. Oh, I do have to read these. Okay. Once rogue, always rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. I hate her. I don't. Her voice is nice. It's a good break from all of these lunatics that I'm having to voice in the jury. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth, dear. Everywhere you look at it, it was the pickpocket. I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. I'm so scared of that guy. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns. That's so irrelevant! What? Also, just because you've seen shootings does not make you a ballistic expert. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind. It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more! Oh, the whole courtroom is turning against me. It's not fair! Iris? That prosecutor's being mean! Oh, I love when they let Iris be a child. Just because Jenny's done some things she shouldn't have in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer! Shut up! Why is there a child in this courtroom anyway? Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Okay, are you a poet? Here's to the truth coming out, eventually. Oh, it's gonna take much longer than this, don't worry, Vinci. We got plenty more to go. That's enough preamble. Counsel, go on with it. Hold on, I've got to slap myself first. Yes, my lord. Ben Zieks has to be so confused when he just starts smacking himself for no reason. I was just like, Bruno, what'd you do that for? Okay, so we are going straight to what we're supposed to do because I can't handle it anymore.
Hold it!
Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. Oh my god, oh my god. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? You're not talking about who I think you're talking about, right? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you operating on... What was the fellow's name now? Erlich? No. No. A Hairlock? Herlock Sholmes, by any chance? Yes, good lord! Was that Hairlock fellow? What? You're the surgeon that you're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes. You! Oh my god, he's screwed. That's right. Using the very latest anesthesia techniques I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you. This is crazy. He's dead. Oh my god, he's so dead. Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. It was at least like an hour and a half after midnight, but okay. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. Well, the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb, literally, and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back. So it didn't go all the way through, is what he's telling us. I hate to state the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. The counsel for the defense is correct. As is clearly shown in this photograph. The bullet the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach and somehow ended up at a perfect horizontal trajectory. I think you'll find it's quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally. That's my thing! Shut up, juror number 3. I think he's number 3. Yeah, he is. Huh! Who do you think I am, son? Well... Juror number 4 is about the best I can do, and juror number 6 in Garridib's trial. Soon as I saw the wound in the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Did they have pancakes? Whatever. Are you saying that you checked his back? Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all. What? Susato just pops into existence and she's like, that's because I performed the surgery at Windybanks while you were gone, Mr. Norwood. And he's like, how did you perform surgery? And she's like, well, my dad's a doctor, you know. Oh, that's bonkers. That's the point! The logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards! Which is exactly why I said about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery? It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together. Honestly, they literally just picked people off the street. Well, we got an expert right here. He's not a doctor, but he's a ballistics expert. That counts for something. Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Oh, a ballistics expert! Sorry, I lost my voice. Pitting. B-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we assumed that the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. So we've got a missing bullet. So there were 3 guns. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet you. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? No, I am not doctor. Great, thanks. I've seen very similar situation in Mother. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold. Golly! Snow was piling high on both sides of road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dogs. Mental note. Don't ask too many questions. Yeah, I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. This situation was very similar to what I hear today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. No sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? The bullet was the friends we made along the way. Bullet never hit me. Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down? I was scared. Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made the deep wound that looked just like bullet wound. Good gracious! He even says it! I'm sorry, he is the judge. Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside of me. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. Great. That's lovely. But that doesn't answer the question at all! Huh? The shooting happened in a pawnbroker's shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Runa, where exactly was Ernie shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his... Great, so dangerous chemicals are in his body. Oh my god. No wonder they couldn't get anesthesia to work, and no wonder after it did, he couldn't wake up. What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Maybe since he flipped him over like a pancake, it drained and out of it. Oh, that's so nasty. Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may. Lord Van Zieks. While I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summonation, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question. Why? In the antechamber outside the courtroom. You what, mate? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Oh, thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping, along with other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well, I'll extremely please just give me the damn pouch. Bring forth this damn pouch. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it? Look at that. One of the vials is broken, the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the vial exploded. exploded. So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes's pouch. And it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury. So he wasn't even shot. Great. The bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. Whatever. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna pretend like I drink wine. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this. There are 3 bullets now, then, Zieks, you idiot! Oh my gosh. The bungling and burgling brothers. He knew what he was doing. Van Zieks knew what he was doing. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker, and a third bullet materialized out of thin air. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. You're kidding me. But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man. Duh. Thank you very much. Glad I could help. Due to his bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester this scruffy pouch as evidence. Ellie's pouch isn't scruffy. You tell him, Iris. Okay, the pouch Sholmes was wearing, one of the glass files is smashed and there are scorch marks in it. Now the summonation. I don't care. I want to look at this. Oh, it's bulging back here. Oh, look, there's a hole here at the back. It doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something's ripped through the leather with great force. Something must have pierced it somehow to have left this hole behind. Yeah, no shit, Iris. Yes, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? He might not live, Runa. That's really messed up. It's really scorched badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken, look. This must be where the bullet hit then. Let me see. I wonder what that is. Ooh. What the? Iris, look! So, I'm pretty sure that I made it a point to say, because I did the first time I played it, me and my mom, I was like, he really took the time to put on his jacket when, like, Gina's over there potentially dying, and then the jacket and the pouch is what probably saved his life. So, what do you know? Ah! That's, I don't know if I read his line, the Skulkin Brothers bullet. What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Windybanks that night. We found exactly what that juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet. It's time to press that juror again, I think. I don't remember who. Okay, we are supposed to press juror 2. It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Okay, well that's just rude. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although... Yes? Sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose. If there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet? Could that be possible? Okay. Allow me to show you then. The 3rd bullet.
Take that!
It even says it. His little pose. Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes! On the night in question, in Windybanks Pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
Oh. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Oh, brother. Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes's pouch. You watched us open it. What? The pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes's waist before he was taken to hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one except you. Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night? Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts. Oh my god, no we don't. It's a third bullet. It's a third bullet. It's a third bullet. Arr! 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that of Mr. Windibank, and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers. And examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. Ah! But that must mean... God, his voice changes every time. I say it every time, but it just does. That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. Oopsie doopsie. I've got my dukes and my Lucy lockets, and my Joy-Cons are in there. So whenever I'm pressing buttons, sometimes I can hit the trigger on accident, so that's gonna be my B. Because I'm standing to record. I think that I'm gonna start doing that from now on for GAC, because it's fun. Okay. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Arg! It's gonna be okay. Take a deep breath, bro. It's gonna be alright. Order, order, order. And Zeke, stop having a heart attack. Pull yourself together. While this summonation remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. God, I have to breathe so much. As is my prerogative in this That's not how you spell that, right? I hereby temporarily suspend the summonation. Jupiter? Hey, Jupiter. I've got a friend named Jupiter who might be watching. How are you? What? Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once. Oh, brother.